This morning. This is an interesting take by the Manchester City manager Roberto Mancini. Stop boozing and find a woman. That's what he says, because he was worried about the pictures of England goalkeeper Joe Hart, Neil, dancing on the bar in Spain. Obviously had a few drinks under his belt. He's worried about the culture. Do you understand that or not?
Yeah, well, he'll certainly be able to keep an eye on his players now, because he's actually moved into the same village as most of the Manchester City teams. So there'll be no escape from them
He'll be out at midnight.
Yeah, from here on in. But yeah, of course, he wants his players to be disciplined. In an ideal world, they'd be teetotal. But it's interesting the names that he mentions there, because the first one is Joe Hart, who was pictured in the News of the World last weekend and drinking for fun before he met up with the England squad. But the other player that he mentions is Adam Johnson. Now, I don't think too much has been said or written about Adam Johnson, but it's interesting that Roberto Mancini should bring his name. He's spoken about his private life recently and telling him to keep his feet on the ground, but to actually bring Johnson into the public domain about his own nocturnal habits, that certainly does surprise me, because Johnson is a player that Manchester City should be looking after and consider, because he is part of the long-term future of Manchester City. They should be looking after that player.
Yeah, I mean, does that go back to the attitude, though, of the player? I mean, he knows what he's got. He's at the start of a fantastic career. Sure, he doesn't need that much persuading by his manager to say, hold on a minute, you've got 10, 12 years here, a fantastic career.
Yeah, we would have thought so. I mean, firstly, Manchester City, I would assume, did their homework, and Brian Marwood, the football administrator, who's got strong links in the North East, will have certainly done that when he signed him last January. But also that Johnson has just got into that England team, and his performances for Manchester City, his goal against Newcastle was exceptional. His goal against Bulgaria in the Euro 2012 qualifier at Wembley, and again against Switzerland, coming off the bench, we can see what a brilliant talent he is. And Manchester City have to help a young player shape that. 21 years of age, he's suddenly been thrust into the limelight. He's earning a lot of money. He's suddenly a very, very high-profile player. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's absolutely brilliant. You know, he's first class. He's full of confidence. He's not arrogant. He doesn't come across big time in any way. But it just shows that there's a little bit. The tension between Mancini and his players is unbelievable at times, and clearly that there is an issue between those two.
They're playing Blackpool away, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Biggest mismatch financially, there's ever been, probably.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fantastic occasion, isn't it, for Blackpool, and Ian Holloway will love it. And you expect Manchester City to win that, but even if Blackpool get a point there, the way they're playing at the moment, they could do that. It'd be a fantastic result. Do
you keep waiting for Blackpool to lose matches?
You do, because Burnley started very well, and we've been through all this before. But I tell you what, if they stay up, it's not good for football players in this country, because they've shown that you can do it on a wage bill of, well, I don't know what, but about a fifth of what any other Premier League club is on. So if they do stay up, it shows you don't have to pay massive money to stay up in the Premier League.
Yeah, and Holloway's doing a great job, isn't he, in motivating them?
Fantastic job. He's one of the great motivators. Yeah.
Would you expect City to win or Blackpool to squeeze something out of it?
I'd expect City to win.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be tight, because the way Blackpool, I think Blackpool learnt from the Chelsea game. Ian Holloway said he learnt from it, didn't he? That there's a certain way of playing, and he probably won't go into it the same way when they got thrashed by Chelsea. But I'd expect City to win that.
I think there's going to be a slight change of attack. We're going to see a different Manchester City team to the team that lined up against Newcastle and Chelsea before that was very defensive. That Bridge will play at left back, Boateng coming in at right back, and these are the two players that Mancini sees as forward thinking. They're going to add something to their attack. And also, I think Adebayor will probably play alongside Carlos Tevez as well up front. So it'll be more of a 4-4-2, slightly more fluid and slightly more adventurous than City fans have been than they've been used to this season. But it's certainly time that they went.
And a lot harder for Blackpool as well. Let's switch to Goodison Park.